Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something more powerful than money, more valuable than talent, and more essential than luck. It's the one thing that separates those who dream from those who achieve, the invisible force that turns ordinary people into legends. That power is self-belief. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's not pretending to be perfect. It's the quiet confidence that whispers to your heart, I can do this. It's that unshakable faith in yourself even when the world doubts you, laughs at you, or ignores you. It's the voice that says, I may fall, but I will rise again. Every great story of success begins not with opportunity, not with resources, but with belief. Before anyone else could believe in them, they believed in themselves. Belief, the root of every dream. Let's start from the beginning. Every invention, every discovery, every piece of art, every movement that ever changed the world started in one person's mind. Before the airplane flew, the idea of humans flying was ridiculous. People mocked the Wright brothers. They said, if God wanted man to fly, he would have given him wings. But the Wright brothers had something stronger than wings. They had belief. Before Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he failed more than 1,000 times. When a reporter asked, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? Edison smiled and said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. That is the mindset of a believer, someone who sees failure not as the end, but as a step toward victory. If you don't believe in yourself, even the easiest tasks will seem impossible. But if you do, even the impossible becomes possible. Self-belief is the seed from which success grows. Without it, nothing can survive. When the world doubts you, there will always be people who doubt you. The world has a habit of underestimating dreamers. They'll say you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not experienced enough. They'll laugh at your goals because your goals remind them of what they gave up on. But remember this, no one can define your limits except you. Walt Disney was fired from his job at a newspaper because his editor said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Imagine that. The man who later built the most imaginative empire in entertainment was once told he had no creativity. But he didn't let that define him. He chose to believe in his vision when no one else did. When J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter, 12 publishers rejected her manuscript. She was a single mother living on welfare. But she kept believing in her story. Today, that very story has inspired millions around the world. You see, every rejection, every failure, every criticism is just the world's way of asking, do you really believe in yourself? And if your answer is yes, then no power on earth can stop you. Belief creates power. Belief is not just a feeling. It's energy. It's a force that transforms your thoughts into action. When you believe in yourself, you begin to act differently. Your posture changes, your tone changes, your decisions change. You begin to walk, talk, and think like a winner. Have you ever noticed how people who truly believe in themselves seem unstoppable? It's not that they never fail, they just refuse to stay down. Their belief gives them power. It fuels their persistence, sharpens their focus, and fills them with courage when fear takes over. Think about it, every time you doubted yourself, you felt weak. You hesitated, procrastinated, and lost confidence. But every time you believed in yourself even a little, you felt powerful, alive, unstoppable. That's the difference belief makes. Your thoughts shape your reality. What you tell yourself every day becomes your truth. If you constantly say, I can't, your brain will find reasons to prove you right. But if you say, I can, and you truly mean it, your mind starts finding ways to make it happen. So, the next time you face a challenge, don't ask, can I do this? Instead, say, I will do this. Because belief is not about having all the answers, it's about trusting yourself enough to find them. Stories of unshakable belief. Let's look at some real-life heroes who embodied self-belief. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine that. The coach didn't think he was good enough. But Jordan used that rejection as fuel. He said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." His belief didn't depend on anyone else's approval. Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty, faced abuse, and was told she wasn't fit for television. Today, she's one of the most influential women in the world. Her belief in herself turned her pain into purpose. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. 27 years. Most people would have given up. But his belief in freedom, in justice, in himself never died. When he walked out of that prison, he didn't carry hatred, he carried hope. That's what belief can do. It turns suffering into strength. And you, too, have that same power inside you. You may not realize it yet, but it's there waiting for you to trust it. Building self-belief step by step. Self-belief doesn't happen overnight. It's something you build, just like a muscle. Every time you take action despite fear, you strengthen it. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, it grows stronger. Here's how you can build it. Start small. Don't wait for huge victories. Celebrate small wins. Every step forward is proof that you're capable. Confidence grows with evidence. Talk to yourself kindly. You are listening to yourself more than anyone else. Stop saying, "I'm not good enough." Replace it with, "I'm learning, I'm improving, I'm getting there." Words have power. Surround yourself with believers. Spend time with people who lift you up, not pull you down. The energy around you shapes your belief. Learn from failure. Every mistake teaches you something. Don't be ashamed of failing, be ashamed of giving up. Visualize success. See it, feel it, believe it. The more vividly you imagine your success, the more your mind will guide you toward it. Remember, self-belief is not about being fearless. It's about moving forward despite fear. Courage is born where belief lives. The battle within. Most of the time, the battle isn't against the world, it's against your own doubts. That little voice in your head that says, "What if I fail?" You need to answer it with, "What if I succeed?" When your mind says, "You're not ready," tell it, "No one ever is, but I'm starting anyway." Because the truth is, life will never be perfectly ready for your dreams. There will always be obstacles, always be critics, always be reasons to wait. But belief doesn't wait. Belief acts. Belief jumps even when the ground looks far away. And when you finally take that leap, when you step out of your comfort zone, that's when magic happens. That's when you discover who you truly are. You are more powerful than you think. There's a saying, whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Your thoughts are like commands to your subconscious mind. If you tell yourself you're weak, you'll act weak. If you tell yourself you're strong, you'll find strength. Look back at your life. There were times when you thought you couldn't survive something, but you did. You thought you couldn't finish that project, but you did. You thought you couldn't move on from pain, but you did. Every time you doubted yourself, life proved you wrong. So why doubt now? Why not trust the person who's already survived so much? You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to take the next step with belief. Because every time you say, "I can," you become closer to the person you were always meant to be. Belief can change the world. Think of the people who changed the world: Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Malala Yousafzai, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. What did they all have in common? Not money, not luck, not even perfect conditions. They had belief. They believed in their ideas when the world laughed. They believed in humanity when others saw only hate. They believed in progress when others saw only problems. That's what belief does. It moves mountains, it changes history, it creates miracles. And now, it's your turn. Your belief has the power to change your world and maybe even the world of others. When you believe in yourself, you inspire others to believe in themselves too. Confidence is contagious. Courage spreads. Faith multiplies. When one person dares to believe, 1,000 others find hope. The moment of truth. So, ask yourself, what dream have you been hiding because you don't think you're good enough? What goal have you been delaying because you're scared of failing? What version of yourself are you afraid to become simply because you don't believe you can? This is your moment to decide. To choose belief over doubt. To silence that inner critic and say, I am enough. No one else can walk this path for you. No one else can give you belief. You have to grow it yourself. But once you do, once you truly believe, you become unstoppable. Final words: believe, and begin. Let me leave you with this. There's nothing special about the people who achieve great things except one thing. They believed when it didn't make sense to believe. When they were tired, they kept going. When they were afraid, they kept believing. When no one stood beside them, they stood for themselves. And in the end, their belief built the life they dreamed of. So today, I challenge you: believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities. Believe that you can rise again, no matter how many times you fall. Believe that your voice matters, your dreams matter, you matter. Because once you truly believe in yourself, you become a force the world can't ignore. As Henry Ford said, if you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. So choose to believe you can. Because you can. You always could. And now, it's time to prove it. Thank you.